Right, so here is a mid-semester recap. So we're now a little bit past mid-semester, but I'm just sort of getting around to doing this video after essentially having like a lot of deadlines and having Remembrance Week. Like the past 2 weeks have been very hectic. I was wanting to try and do this video before Remembrance Week, but yeah, just did not have the time, unfortunately. So getting around to it now, though, that's the main thing. So yeah, first week was just kind of getting used to classes, and the weather was like absolutely amazing. It's been really good for the past like 2.5 months that I've been here for, so I honestly cannot complain. Like, we got to see Syracuse when it was very warm. It's now starting to get a little bit colder out, but I think there's still some warm days in the weeks coming, which is very nice. So yeah, that was kind of like the first week as well. You saw me there in a suit. I was getting my photo taken for the program. So if you've seen the program, you'll see there's a photo of me and Anna, and that was the day that we were doing that. So that was actually after one of our remembrance meetings. So each week on Fridays from 3 p.m. till 5 p.m. Sometimes we would finish early and it would be like 4:30 maybe. But each week though we would have these remembrance meetings, and essentially in these meetings we'd go over like various topics to do with Remembrance Week. We'd have, rehearsals the week before we had rehearsals for Remembrance Week. And yeah, in these meetings as well, what they did was basically there's these like action groups within the Remembrance cohort. So there's 7 different action groups that represent 5 of the students, because there's obviously 35 students on Syracuse side that are Remembrance Scholars, and each of them had like a different group that was related to sort of furthering the cause of remembrance, really kind of focusing on the sort of like act forward aspect and really trying to like inform people about remembrance. I think that's kind of the main idea behind all of these groups. So me and Anna are actually going to be doing a little something to like send back home. We've not fully hashed out the details, but we're going to have something drafted up by the 15th of November. And that's something that we're going to send back home to kind of inform more people about what's going on this side, because I feel like it's sometimes not as clear what's going on over here back home. So it'll be nice to like relay that information so that people can know, and just to inform more people about it, because it's been a very sort of insightful experience being over here so far. Not going to get into it too much now. I'll maybe do that during the Remembrance Week video that I hopefully will be producing soon as well. But yeah, first week I went off on a little bit of a tangent there. I thought it was important to explain the remembrance groups, because that's the main reason I am over here, but went off on a little bit of a tangent. So first week I had my classes, and me and Anna both had this same class in sports management. So it's sports management 205. And in this class, one of the things you have to do is you have to like work an event, and we worked the quad, which is just this sort of like event before the football games. So this was the first game of the season, and essentially we kind of just helped with like crowd control, helped with various like stations around, helped with setting up, helped with putting stuff away. So there was like a lot that really went into it, and we did that. So initially I didn't have tickets to the game, and I didn't have tickets to the game because we both struggled with getting our American cards to work, and we weren't able to purchase tickets with our cards from the UK. So there was like all these issues. So we didn't end up having tickets, and I was kind of resigned to the fact that I wasn't going to be going to the game. But then 20 minutes before the game started, I got talking to this guy. I was working this pickleball station, and this guy's, I think, family were like, playing, his kids were playing on this pickleball station, and he was like just talking to me, and he was like asking me where I'm from, like, what I'm doing, and I kind of was like speaking to him for about 5 minutes, and we got onto like the game, and he was like, oh, are you going to the game? It's like the first game of the season. And I was like, unfortunately I couldn't get tickets. And then he just so happened to have 1 spare ticket, so he was able to like transfer that over to me. So I think that really shows like some of the kindness that you sort of get like being over here, like how welcoming people are. So really big shout out to that guy. John was his name. I didn't catch his second name, unfortunately, and I didn't end up sitting with him because I went and sat with some friends in the student section. But it was an amazing time. The atmosphere was just like, it was unlike anything that I'd sort of experienced at a college level. Like, and I've not really went to many sort of big sporting events back home as well, so I guess I don't have much to go off of. But yeah, it was an amazing atmosphere, and it's just crazy to think that it's like that was a college football game, and that like back home we have like, you know, that's like, it's like the equivalent of like going to like a football game but at like a college level, and you go to like a college or a university level football game back home and it's just like not the same. So it was just such a mind-boggling experience to think that there's like something this big that's just to do with this university, which, yeah, as I say, it's just mind-boggling. So that was sort of the first week. There was a lot that went on. We then went to the state fair as well that was the day after the football game, actually. So yeah, went to this, or 2 days after the football game. So we went to the state fair on Labor Day, and yeah, it was just this like massive fair. There was a nice little Remembrance memorial as well, which was really nice. And then after that, for the coming weeks, it was just kind of like settling into classes. Most of my classes had been more so introductory kind of stuff for the first few weeks, because there's like a drop deadline where you can like choose different courses. So I didn't drop any. I just kind of decided that, look, I've picked these courses, so I'm just going to go through with it and do them. And that's what I ended up doing. So then by, I think it was week 3 or 4, I decided I wanted to go on a little road trip to Vermont. So I've got kind of a bucket list goal of visiting all the states in America, or at least as many as I can in my lifetime. So whilst I'm like living here, it just kind of makes sense to make the most of this opportunity and go and visit as many places as I can and experience as many different kind of cultures and different pockets of America as possible. So I went to Vermont, and it was just like this amazing time. I rented this car, drove over 550 miles in, you know, a single day, and it was just like such an amazing day. It was beautiful out. I went on a little hike that I was really underprepared for, wearing a pair of like running shoes, but it was, you know, it was just an amazing day. And it was great to sort of get off of campus as well, because I feel like sometimes I'm like very like almost like isolated like on campus. Like there's not much opportunity to kind of like go further than that. So being able to like rent the car and do that gave me that kind of like, you know, that excitement of like doing something different and like going to a different place. And it was just like such a great time. And then I'm trying to think of what other things happened. So there's just been like so much going on that it's hard to get into this short video, but I've kind of shown on the screen a lot of the different things we did. So then me, Anna, and my roommate and our friend went to a football game again. This time it was versus Stanford, which was quite a historic game because it was the first time Syracuse has played against Stanford, because there was a conference sort of realignment essentially where Stanford joined the ACC conference, which is like Syracuse's conference. So yeah, that's kind of like what went on for those first few weeks. I also had my friend come and visit me. So he works for Virgin Atlantic as part of the cabin crew, and he just so happened to be like in New York for 2 days, and he flew out. The price of his ticket is also kind of crazy. He told me it was £1.40 for him to fly from New York to Syracuse. Typically it's like maybe $100, maybe more than that, and it's like crazy to think that he flew from sort of New York to Syracuse for like less than what I would get when I would go down the street for lunch when I was at school, which is just kind of a crazy thought to think about. But yeah, so that's sort of everything that happened. There's probably been a lot of things that I haven't covered, but that's just sort of the exciting things that I can kind of think of off the top of my head. Still been training, still been doing everything that I, you know, have. I've got kind of goals that I want to achieve with that within the next sort of 2 years. So I'm still really going hard with that over here, and it's great that I have access to the gym for free. Even tried the climbing wall. As you maybe saw, there's a free climbing wall in the gym, as if it wasn't an amazing enough campus. They've got all these like cool things to do. Went on another road trip to Maine and New Hampshire. So yeah, been a very packed month. That's really it for the video. I don't want to have this run on too long, but yeah, it's been an amazing experience so far, and I look forward to recapping come December.